our collective heads. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm back in the United States. I think.
Yeah.
So, it's good to be back. And thank you guys for watching last week. Owen was awesome. So that was really cool. I did all the editing in my hotel room because I couldn't sleep. So that was cool.
I was surprised you left in his little dancing thing, which worked way better in the video version than the Podiocast? Podiocast.
Yeah.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads, the Podiocast.
We're great at this.
Last week the video stopped recording right before we ended, and so I want to go back and briefly talk again about Ni no Kuni, because as far as PS3 games that didn't really get the attention they deserved, I feel like Ni no Kuni is hands down the best JRPG on the system. On PS3? On PS3, yeah.
I have only played a little bit of it, but from what I've heard of the story and the visuals, I completely agree that anime gets lumped together too much. I'm not going to say that.
It's Studio Ghibli.
It's Studio Ghibli, yeah.
You're playing a Studio Ghibli.
And that's what's amazing about it is you're actually playing something from one of the best studios that's out there when it comes to anime, and it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing that's really impressive about it, because the things that get brought up in conversation are, oh, it's so pretty and this story is wonderful, but the mechanics are solid.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
and I really like that.
RPGs are supposed to be challenging.
RPGs are supposed to be. And there's the whole collection element, and we haven't seen gameplay yet. So I'm curious what that'll look like, because it looked amazing on PS3, and it's I don't really know that it's going to look, but some of the set pieces were a little bit static, and I think that's where it's going to come to life.
You're going to see changes of that. You're going to see changes not as much in the cinematics, because the cinematics and cutscenes, or whatever you want to call them, are as close as I think you're going to get, and the closest they need to be.
Yeah,
it's just bridging the gap. Where when we first got into the CD era of gaming, we had a huge gap, which is why some people don't like playing Final Fantasy VII, because you have these beautiful cinematic cutscenes, and then you get put into gameplay, and it's blocky. And
they also 7 and 8, where I don't remember, because I know that there's some things where they'll have a cinematic going in the background, and then they'll put the blocky characters in front of it with the jagged edges and the three corners.
7 didn't do it as much. 7 would give you a cutscene, and then it would cut to your gameplay, and it was jarring. There's a couple smooth transitions, but even the smooth transitions would be cutscene, pretty, and then as you got to where you were going, you could see that it was really blocky. Yeah. I guess the beginning of 7 was kind of like that when they're jumping off the train. You did have a little bit of, Yeah.
But 8, the garden attack, I can say that. It's not spoilery.
Yeah. There's an attack in a garden in that game.
And it's really fun, because they had the full video running in the background, and then you're running across in a completely un-Final Fantasy way that we'd never seen before.
Yeah.
But Ni no Kuni 2 is hands down the coolest, most exciting thing for me that happened out of that.
This I wouldn't put it personally. I wouldn't put it on the level of Fallout 4, but it's very similar in the effect of just announcing, being hey, guess what? This thing we've actually been making it this whole time, which is great. I think that when it comes to Hollywood and other things, there are a lot of things that leak out. Side note: do not leak any Star Wars stuff. I'm not going to either. But there's a lot of things in Hollywood that start leaking out, and you start hearing so much about a movie a year or 6 months before the movie's actually made.
I really don't know if that's something that's happened with Star Wars, because I watched the first trailer, and then I just haven't watched any more, and it's it seems like there's been a dozen more trailers.
You could watch them, and it's really not going to tell you what, because
but still, that many trailers, that many screenshots, I'm
someone did.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell me on this. It's Star Wars.
Well, someone did re-edit all of the trailers, because trailers, TV spots, all this, and they may have 2 seconds that were not in anything else. So someone re-edited all of it together in what they believe to be chronological order.
Okay, I can see that.
Which apparently gives away too much, so I've not clicked that. because apparently they're like, it doesn't spell out the entire plot, but it gives you enough of a feel. I still think there are things they have not announced in this. I have a prediction. Can I possible spoiler prediction? Is that allowed? No,
we're not doing that.
Okay.
You can throw it up here, like text wise, and then so if you don't want to see that, then you can turn away.
Yeah, turn away right now. It'll be right here.
And there's his prediction.
That's my prediction. And now we're going to go about our business. So if I'm right on that, then yay, I'm right. Basically, there are a lot of things that I think are not being said in the trailers, and there are things we don't know about. We know a lot about it, but I think there's some secrets.
Yeah. So speaking of secrets,
yes,
Towerfall comes out on Vita today.
Fantastic.
And it's got the Dark Worlds expansion, which I also have.
I don't have that. I don't think.
And it has ad hoc multiplayer.
Yeah,
on Vita, which is very cool.
Which is how it should be.
And like that game is mostly like the real fun is in the multiplayer.
Yeah,
But I kind of want to, like, it's fun enough that I want to go back in and I want to see if I can beat it. Like just the single player campaign.
Just the single player. I don't think I've played the single player campaign.
I played
I've played the multiplayer.
You have to play like 2 or 3 levels to like unlock, and I wanted to make sure that those were unlocked before I had people over for the parties and stuff.
That makes sense.
So we're gonna go ahead and kick this off with a little bit of just kind of release dates, and we don't have a whole lot of information. There's not a lot of news this week.
There was a lot of news last week, so we're on a slight lull.
Yeah. The Tomorrow Children is going to have a closed beta that opens on January 21st.
I haven't seen much of this. Have you? The Tomorrow Children?
I've seen enough to make me interested.
Okay.
It's just I love dystopias. Yeah. Dystopias are fun, which is good because there's a lot of dystopias out there, and it's one that looks very strange, and it's like they exist in this literally whitewashed world, and then you're kind of building your community and stuff. So it's something that's strange and interesting. So
which is awesome.
Yeah.
We also have Gone Home, which is coming to console on January 12th. It's been on PC since, but that's going to be pretty cool. That's dystopian as well, right?
That's the one where you're wandering, like I think the whole thing takes place in a house, and you're just wandering through, picking up and trying to. It's basically how we play Fallout. We're like looking for clues and trying to piece together the story.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm confusing that with a completely different game.
Okay.
I'm confusing that with The Rapture. With Everyone's Gone
that's
which is on console. I don't know why I'm confusing those two. Yeah, but speaking of coming to console, Minecraft is finally coming to the only console that it's not currently on.
Not just console, the only device with a screen.
Yeah,
that it's not
currently
already
being
on.
manufactured, which is the WiiU. December 17th, it'll be on the WiiU. Strangely enough, the gamepad is just a duplicate screen of the regular screen. If you've played Minecraft on PC, I still consider it the best version. It's the definitive version, not because it's the first, but because the inventory management system, the way that works is so much better and it's so much easier to work with. In console, it's funky. It's because you can't click and drag on console, and if you do, it's slow. So I think they missed a really big opportunity here to take the inventory system and put it on the gamepad and then click and drag all your items.
Yeah.
Because crafting on console is slow. It's atrocious. It's the reason why I think a lot of kids don't understand the crafting system in Minecraft, because they're playing Xbox and they're like, this is boring. I'll play creative. And then creative is just all the cheat codes, just whatever you want, just anytime you want. And it ruins the game.
Come on, kids.
The whole point of Minecraft is you're dropped in the middle of this randomly generated world. Find a way to survive, and in doing so, you can create farms, you can create buildings, and then and there's a nether world and the ether and there's all kinds of weird stuff.
It's a way more creative, but it's very similar to Don't Starve.
Yes,
because like the first time you play that, you're just going to be like, I'm wandering around. Oh, I can chop grass and trees, and night's coming. I died.
No.
That's a bummer, and it's fun that particular mechanic is also in both games.
Yeah, it is. Speaking of older games, I guess, older
Yeah, sure.
style. That's not
Sure.
a segue.
No.
So Resident Evil Zero is coming out January 19th for $20.
Mm-hmm.
This is the prequel to the. Isn't this the prequel to the remakes?
I don't know.
It's a game that's Resident Evil.
It's the one that they kept saying was a remake, not a remaster.
The remake of 2? Remake of 1?
I think so.
I wonder if this is a remake of.
I thought they already did one.
They did a remaster.
They did the GameCube, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. This will come out. I'm sorry we don't have more information.
I'll put video of this. Well,
throw that
I
out.
may be confusing this with the remake, remaster, whatever, of Resident Evil 2. If this is now, there was another story that I'd heard where they were going to take 1 and 2 and just combine them and do it as a full thing, which works because it's the exact same town. It's two sides of the exact of a story. So if that's this, that'd be really cool. I don't know if it is though, but I'll put the video on and it'll be really awesome that you can watch the video while you hear us ramble about stupid things. Yeah.
And then Bravely Second is now coming to the device, which it comes to because we only get to play it on the other ones.
Yeah.
I want it to be like I like 3DS, but after I can't play that for very long. I can only play 3DS or 2DS for like hour and a half. My hands cramp.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably the button placement.
Yeah.
The buttons are made for small to medium children. Mine do okay. Mine do okay on it. But I'd say after a couple hours, then mine cramp a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Yeah, I have small hands. Smell of cabbage. No, about 3 hours into the Master Quest of Ocarina of Time, and I don't know, my neck hurt more than my hands did.
Yeah, my neck hurts about 4.5 hours into Vita playing.
But that's because I was like doing this, and I could have done this. And it's the problem with handhelds, is finding the comfortable position.
Yeah. And see, it's also the same with like books.
Yeah.
Like I have to be like tucked into a corner and like propped up on the knee, and I'm like, There's a
LeVar Burton video of that.
Really?
Where he's just trying to find comfortable positions.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, especially when you're 2 hours into reading something and you're like keep repositioning. Your shoulder hurts.
We have a little purple thing. I'll take a picture of it and you can throw it up here.
Okay.
Like this little purple pyramid thing.
Okay.
That you set on your lap and you can read books that way.
Well, that works.
It's really cool.
It's easier.
But it doesn't work for handhelds.
No.
Anyway, Beverly Second. Coming in February 26th.
Bravely Second, yeah. And then Ark Survival Evolved is early access on Xbox One.
Yes.
Coming to it's December 16th. Another one that I've only seen like a little bit of. But
it's the dinosaur one.
It's the dinosaur one. Yes, it is. The one thing that I'm liking that Xbox is doing on this is they're doing essentially what Steam is doing. This is a double-edged sword. Okay, so you have early access to games. Which sounds great, but I'm hoping that Xbox won't do what Steam does, which is essentially give...
They just let them publish basically whatever.
Whatever. It's not done. They're charging people money for things that aren't done, or which there is apparently going to be, hopefully going to be more crackdown on. There are people who are making games out of free asset packs. They'll make up a game and you have like 3, 4, 5 different versions of the exact same thing on there for 99 cents a piece.
Yeah.
Because they want to grab early, $1 for doing nothing. If you guys haven't watched Inquisition, he's been ranting about this for quite a while. I'm hoping
he gets so angry.
He does, and I love him. He rants a lot and he gets angry a lot, but it's because he cares. These are like really important things that he's like, why is no one talking about this?
Yeah.
It's the reporter in the bullpen going, why won't you publish my story? But in this case, he's publishing his own story.
And I think that so far what I've seen, because they had, what was it, the dungeon something or other that Sony put out, and it was like $20 for the pre-access. Like Xbox is definitely doing way better on the whole early access because like there are games that are coming out. Because like if you've ever uninstalled or gotten a new phone, Google Maps will still tell you that it's in beta. And that's been out for what, a decade?
Yeah.
And so like there are things that are changing and constantly working, and yeah, I get that. But I forget who said it, but I heard one of the quotes that a game is never finished; it's just published.
Nowadays, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
George Lucas said that about movies, but he said a movie's never finished. The director just stops working on it. That's how.
Except that he doesn't.
Except that he doesn't. Now he does.
Yeah, he stopped.
He didn't, but I think that in regards to video games, it's become a problem. I think that you have because it's become the norm. People will put out a game and it won't be finished.
It's a system that's a lot easier to abuse.
Yeah,
but there are developers who continue, because like Darkest Dungeon has been in early access on Steam.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called there?
I can't remember.
Okay, so it's in the we're not quite done with this one.
I think
phase.
it came out technically. It was in alpha when it first came out on Steam, which they'll let you do. They're basically like, hey, this is broken, but if you want to play it, you can.
Send us feedback
Sometimes they're like, hey, early alpha access and give us $20, and that's where I have a problem.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah, like I was one of the beta testers for Minecraft, so I paid $5 to say, hey, you can be a beta tester for us, and then when the game comes out, you will get it for free. So my account, I was like, you know what? This game looks really cool. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. It's $5. It's not really too bad.
Yeah.
And then it came out, and it was like 15 or 20 when it launched. So I got it for $5.
That makes sense.
And I've been playing it for 7 years now, 6 years.
Yeah.
And there are developers that are doing this the right way, and there are developers that are doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Developers doing it the right way, like Bethesda. There are bugs. The game is huge, and trust me, Fallout 4 has been one of the best launches for a Bethesda game ever.
Yeah.
The bugs are, for the most part, minimal in compared to other Bethesda games. The game is playable. Every now and then has a problem, which has ways around it. But
one of the things that they and one of the other things that they did is they are willing to acknowledge that. And they're like, hey, we will let you save almost anywhere you want, and we're just going to create this stack of saves for you to go back, and if we mess up, you can go back. You're not going to lose a whole lot. So like for me, every time I pull up my Pip-Boy and put it back down,
you've got another save. Do you go clear those out?
No. Okay. I'm not touching those.
I think it tops out at 100.
Yeah, that's plenty.
Okay.
100 saves should be enough for me.
Trust me, you'll hit it.
Yeah, I'm sure
you'll hit it, and then you'll have to start deleting.
Oh, you have to do it manually?
I think so.
That's not fun.
You had to in Skyrim and Oblivion.
Okay.
Fallout 3.
Well, let us know if you've hit the save cap.
Yeah, because there was in Fallout. Well, they didn't have the quick save the way that the Pip-Boy has, but in Fallout, if you tried to save I'm pretty sure it was in Oblivion and Skyrim, it had like 100 saves. I'm
a good 15, 20 hours in. And like I said, every time I pull up my Pip-Boy, it gives me a new save. So I feel like I would have hit it by now.
I would think so. Maybe it's overwriting all your old.
That's what I would assume.
It's not going to overwrite the old ones, because some people keep their first one right before you go.
Yeah. Through. Okay.
I hope it doesn't overwrite those, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. So let us know if you've found anything like that.
So February 9th is the Dying Light DLC. That's
right. The little free pack.
The free pack. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And not the $20
expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is also the one that they were spoofing.
Yeah.
Who was it? Destiny.
Yes.
It was. Yeah. You picture of drinking this certain thing and you get a bonus, whatever. And so Dying Light tweeted out a thing there like, hey, show yourself drinking water and we'll put this out.
Yeah.
And so they got like well over 1 million tweets, and it was just people with water.
This is a developer.
Oh, how refreshing.
And this is a developer who on launch had a great game, and they're continuing to support it and continue to have great DLC. This is how you're supposed to do, and the game is never finished. You're going to see DLC for them throughout, I think, the first half of next year at least. Bethesda, you're going to see it for the next probably year or more.
Well, if you count mods, you're going to see it forever.
That's true. Well, I mean developer-wise. So just going back to the whole idea of a game is never finished.
I really appreciate Dying Light, though, because like Techland came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like I was unaware of that studio before this one came out, and yeah, they created an awesome game, sent it out into a relatively quiet time, and they got noticed as a result.
Yeah,
it was good launch time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Big news, in my opinion, this past week with all the news about Final Fantasy VII, the Final Fantasy VII remake, is that they're going to split it into multi-parts. There have been people who've been upset about this, but those people don't understand how big that game is. The way that RPGs used to be.
Interesting. Okay.
No, the way that RPGs used to be, okay, that game, if you beat the entire game as quick as you can without any exploits, it's like 45 or 50 hours.
Okay.
To beat the game.
All right.
Okay. So you're taking that and putting modern day graphics onto it and that much story.
All right.
You're not going to be able to do it in one release.
Okay. So you are accepting that Final Fantasy VII, a redone game from 1997, is bigger than Final Fantasy 15, a game that they've been working on for the past 9 years.
Final Fantasy 15, and you can mark it here. The gameplay, the game is going to be shorter.
Okay.
The game is going to be shorter on Final Fantasy 15 than it is on Final Fantasy 7.
I'm not saying shorter, like rush through the story or whatever. I'm just saying content wise.
Oh yeah.
You're accepting.
Oh yeah.
That
7. There's so much content in 7. I mean, if they released it like they did Fallout, you'd have to. It would be basically be like, here's the game, and then DLC the rest. And it would be like, here's the game as in the first third of the game. And then they're going to put DLC packs to the rest of it. And I think doing a multi-part would be a better way to do it, as opposed to saying, here's just half of the story.
Okay. I have some theories on this. One of the things that they said... Okay, so... I like your comment about that I'll only beat the first part of whatever it is that comes out and then abandon it.
Yeah, you better not.
But I've heard a couple of different theories about how they're going to do this, because one of the things that they said is that the each chunk that comes out will be a unique experience. So I feel like CyberConnect is doing the first chapter, and then I think that different studios are going to be doing different parts.
Yeah. It's split into 3 chapters, or did they say?
They haven't said.
Okay, I bet it's 3.
But CyberConnect, and it's really interesting / concerning, because the trailer that we saw, the trailer that they released, was apparently something that CyberConnect brought it to Square and said, hey, here's the trailer. And Square said, this is not anything like what we want. We'll make our own trailer. And so that tells me, one, they are not they are not watching what the studio is. No.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, it was the trailer that CyberConnect gave to Square Enix to publish was completely scrapped, and Square Enix made their own trailer disregarding everything that they had done because it was not in the Square Enix style. I'll try to find sources for this.
Yeah. But
like, it was a really interesting story, and it's just another one of those things. I don't really understand what's happening there.
Yeah, that's odd.
And it's just really interesting because those of you who've been watching for a while, you know, I have time to like delve into sources all throughout the internet, and this has been a really, really interesting story to hear different people, because nobody's getting the whole story. Yeah. Everybody, you know, they'll hear a thing from this guy, and you know, it'll be credible sources and things, and it'll be different interviews by different elements of the staff. But I don't know this. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. Having said that, I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go back and play I've tried. I've tried on the PlayStation
It's
version
okay.
and the remaster.
I'll be the one
everything.
who can be able to compare and contrast the old and new kind of thing.
But like
only beaten it 3 times, so
yeah, you'll be fine.
It's like Ocarina. I've played the first disc of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah,
I think probably 15 times. Yeah.
But it'll be really interesting because apparently combat is going to be like a thing where you control a character in the action RPG thing, but you have access to the other two.
Okay. I wonder if that means you can queue up their actions.
I don't know.
Because if you hit pause, Dragon Age has a similar scenario situation.
Yeah.
You're a character. You're controlling a character, but you can pause. You can hit what is the equivalent of a pause.
Turn on VATS.
Yeah, basically. Except it's complete pause. In Fallout 4, it's not, but you essentially pause, go over to another character queue, go over to another character queue, go over to the first one. It's very much a BioWare thing. I mean, they did that in Knights of the Old Republic as well.
Yeah. And so there's like all kinds of interesting things happening here, and there are a lot of people that are. I mean, it's a beloved game.
Yes.
And so there are a lot of people that are concerned, angry, whatever about this. But I don't know. I think it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out, and I'm interested in the remake.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun, and I hope that when it comes out, it's not broken.
I think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to be broken. And here's my prediction: there have been people joking on the internet about a DLC to save Eris. Won't be in there. It will not be in there.
No. That's.
There's no way they will do that.
It changes the dynamic.
Yeah,
and
it changes the tone. It changes the message of the game. As much as I didn't want that to happen, that has to happen. So.
It's his crucible.
Yeah, it is. But speaking of changing history, history is being changed here.
Yes.
This, in regards to the Star Wars game, the 1313 game. I don't know if you guys know the history about this, but essentially it was kind of in developmental limbo. That, as well as was it Star Wars Underground, was the other piece.
Star Wars Underground was the TV series.
Yeah. So both of these have news.
Yes.
Because they were Star Wars Underground was like an early development of like what they were going to do. It's basically script writing, and
they were like either at the very end of pre-production or like just starting to create. They had some of the assets, some of the resources, some of the things that would eventually become the game.
I mean, you're talking about 1313.
Yes.
Yeah. 1313 that's what was going on with that, and they were having some development hiccups on it for a while. It had some, and then you also had the Star Wars Underground, which they were writing for, and they hadn't done much on yet. Disney swept in and started negotiations with Lucasfilm. As soon as that happened, everything shut down.
Yeah,
and then when the Disney deal finished, in the wake of everything, when they said, "What are we going to keep? What are we not going to keep?" These were scrapped.
Yes.
And Kathleen Kennedy, basically, if you didn't know who Kathleen Kennedy is, she's been a producer of the Spielberg for the past 20-some years. She's amazing, and she's heading all the Star Wars stuff. People talk about J.J. Abrams. Yeah, J.J. Abrams is great. Kathleen Kennedy is the reason this is going to be doing so well. Yeah. She's continuing production on this as well as the games. She's overseeing all this, and she said she basically said...
Okay, well, we have a quote from her here.
Yeah.
And this is when she was asked about the what she saw of 1313 and Underground. She said, quote, "Unbelievable. So our attitude is we don't want to throw any of that stuff away. It's gold, and it's something we're spending a lot of time looking at, pouring through, discussing, and we may very well develop these things further. We definitely want to," end quote.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, give me a developer with enthusiasm every time.
Yeah.
Those are the people, when you're excited about your work, I want to be excited about your work.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and I'm seeing that here, and that gives me hope, because 1313 sounded so fun, because Star Wars tends to be kind of the whitewashed upper crust.
Yeah.
You know, like you see Coruscant, and like at one point in the prequels, you go down into it. You go down to ground level, but even death sticks. I'm sorry, who buys that? No, you need a better name for your product. Yeah. Death sticks is a terrible name unless it's something that you're trying to sell to people to kill other people.
Yeah.
Because no, I'm not eating a death stick. I've put some really, like, I've put some substances in my body, but I'm not.
Yeah, no death sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, but even that was at ground level.
Mm-hmm.
And with that kind of infrastructure, you have to have a subterranean, and that's what 1313 was like the lowest and the, yeah. And it's really fascinating. And so I want to see it.
Yeah, and if you guys have read any of the Star Wars books or some of the comics, haven't really delved into it that much. The Dark Horse ones did a little more, but there's so much going on in regards to that world, the Star Wars world. It's a living, breathing world, and it's not just these Jedi that run around and hit people with lightsabers. There's a lot more to it.
Well, and that's the thing is it's a universe that we've seen honestly so little of.
Yeah,
because with that many worlds, that massive of a universe that's been created, you can tell almost any story.
You can.
And that's one of the wonderful things about it.
Yep, that and Star Trek. Because there's not a right answer in that.
Exactly.
So Fallout 4 is going to get its first big patch.
It already has.
Oh, so it hasn't for me, but it has for...
Really?
For Xbox?
Huh. Yeah, Xbox is the one that came out last. I thought that released Saturday.
Saturday? Okay,
it was supposed to have released
I have
Saturday.
not played... I've been out of the country, so I didn't think it had gotten to my console yet.
Yeah. It came on to PS4, and I was able to
I thought
test
it was releasing this week here, but I guess I'm wrong. Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully by the time you see this, you will have the patch.
Yeah, I'll have the patch. So things will be a little more ironed out in it. They didn't change the... I think some of the clipping in regards to settlement making was changed. Did you see what else was in the patch notes?
They have that. They have some of the dialogue options. There were 2 quests that were broken.
Yep. The Confidence Man.
Mm-hmm, Confidence Man. And then there's another one that apparently you're... Like the person you talk to at the end of the quest could just die because there's a battle, and then if they die, then you can't finish the quest, can't talk to them, whatever. Okay. And no more infinite caps.
What?
Yeah.
They kept oh, that's okay. I didn't think they patched that.
Yeah, that's been patched.
Too bad. That's okay. There's so much. There's a lot that you can still. That I can still do. Yeah. And I have my 8 power suits of armor, so...
Well, there you go.
I'll be okay. I was exploiting it to essentially jumpstart my settlement, the Donald Trump aspect of getting a small loan of $1 million and just going from there. That's kind of what I was trying to do with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I just went ahead and... I finally put a safe because I was getting tired of the stuff piling up and having to move the bed to put stuff under it. So I just put a safe under my mattress, and then so now that's where I keep all my stuff.
How do you put the safe underneath the mattress? Is it in like construct mode? Is there a safe that you can make?
Yeah, there's a floor safe.
Oh,
yeah, it's cool.
Because I have a pile of money underneath my mattress.
Yeah, that's
money and cigarettes.
Money and cigarettes.
Yeah,
including one that's lit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a lit cigarette in there. It doesn't have any value, but I find it hilarious to just keep that burning with my pre-war money.
That is funny, yeah. Big pile of cash. See, so now that I've stocked up on all the cash, mentats, and all that kind of stuff, I can just sell that to vendors. I'll be fine. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I've only I've got 10,000 caps right now.
I've started to... You suck. I've started to get my income.
Okay.
And then I'm at level 18 now, so... 19. I forget what I'm getting at level 19, but at level 20 I can get Cap Collector 2, and then I can build the third.
Yeah. The third level of shops, which is what I need to do. I'm at level 14, so I have local leader 2, so I can make my shops. I have my settlements, so they're all connected. My supply lines.
Okay.
But I do not have the Cap Collector 2. So.
Oh, I figured out a story way to kill that one jerk. Did I tell you about this?
No.
Okay,
no.
so
Fallout 4 slightly spoiler time.
Fallout 4 section.
Okay.
Not really, because it's this person that's wandering around in your first settlement.
Which one?
Long, the guy that's always complaining about.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be around a complaining person. I'm like, no, we don't.
He complains
Nobody cares.
Constantly.
That's all he does.
I was waiting. I'm 20 hours into the game, and I've been trying to figure out if he's going to give me a mission or anything.
Yeah. I've decided I don't care.
Okay.
And because of the whole okay, this might technically be a spoiler, but like there's the whole synth element.
Yes.
And there's who's a synth. And so based on the information that Nim has, and like we said, this guy's super annoying because he repeats the same conversation with his sister repeatedly.
Yes.
And so based on that, I think that Nim can believe that he's a synth and has infiltrated the settlement.
Okay.
Now, back to gameplay mechanics. I need to know if I can just shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
And not... Like, is everybody going to attack me? Am I going to mess my stuff up?
That's a good question.
Because if that's a thing... And I can't direct him anywhere. I can't take him off into a corner and shoot him, which is what I want to do.
You can command him, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't do it.
He won't.
That's the other thing I hate about him. I assigned him to a store, and then he'll just be sitting over in a corner complaining.
So I was going to say, because if you plant a plant.
Yeah, and then try to assign him to it. Like I'll get the resources or whatever.
Because he's farming my plants right now.
Okay, I can't get him to do stuff.
It took him a while to do it, but I mean, he did it. So I guess assign him to it, but wait for him to be like assign him to a plant that's like way far away from anybody else.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think if they don't see it, I don't think that they'll.
All right, and then make sure that Valentine's off somewhere.
Yeah, that's where the whole multiple save things comes in.
Yeah.
Because you can do multiple saves, you can do that.
Yeah.
And then if you don't like the outcome, you can go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
Try it out.
And Fallout in real life, they've apparently done a second shipment of Quantum, and that's coming to Target this week.
Fantastic. Did they say when? Tuesday?
This week.
This week. Which means I have to go to...
So we'll see.
I have to go to Target in the morning.
Yeah.
Every morning. Okay. I'm going to do that.
This podcast has been not brought to you by Target.
No, because if Target brought it to you, then we would give you not a taste, but a review of the taste, and we would have this bottle sitting right here. So if I can get it this week, next week you'll see a little bottle right here, and we'll also drink other bottles of it, but not that bottle.
Right.
So it's going to destroy the eBay sellers.
I hope so, but I know a lot of them cashed in fairly quickly. So.
Yes, they did.
And then apparently you can get it free with the season pass. Don't know how that's supposed to work.
Hey.
I'm guessing. Don't know how that's supposed to work. I'm guessing it won't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are
they gonna do I have to go in and buy a season pass?
Oh, yuck! No,
how does that work?
That would be awful.
How does that work?
But that's probably I can see them doing
because
that.
you have to physically get it, right? And
yeah.
Ship it. That's probably what's going to happen. It's probably going to be like if you go into Target and you buy a season pass.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen. Yeah. So also Bethesda and Gearbox both announced that they're going to have studios in Montreal.
Yeah.
So you now have Ubisoft, Bethesda, Gearbox, and I think there's one more it's up there. It may be just Ubisoft that I'm thinking of.
Could be.
It could be, but yeah. Montreal is a place that does video games now, like Dallas. If you didn't know, Dallas is a big one as well.
Yeah.
So now Montreal is going to be even bigger on that.
Yeah. And briefly, Bethesda is going. They said that studio is going to be like mobile and PC and console, and like it's not going to be like a focused studio, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it's going to be headed by the guy who was in charge of Fallout Shelter. So I think it's probably going to be more along the lines of mobile.
Okay. So, but Fallout Shelter is great. I actually just started a new shelter because I was like,
you want the dog?
Yeah, I want the dog. I started a new shelter. I started a new shelter, and I was like, the game is so it's so well done. It's so tight. It's so focused that
Well, I reached a point.
Not too hard.
I reached a point where all I was doing was upping everybody's stats and rotating them through to get everybody to max because that's my thing.
Do you have 200 settlers at that point then?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's all you can really do at that point.
Yeah, and I'm like,
because you either get rid of people or you stat them up
anymore. And so I might restart again, but honestly, it's kind of nice not having any mobile games.
Any
on my phone.
Sure.
So
I don't know. I play Hearthstone on my phone a lot.
So. Yeah, well, see, anytime I play something on my phone, I'm like, I want to play on my Vita. Because like the Hitman Go coming to Vita, I was like, and I don't have to play this anymore on mobile.
Play it on the mobile, yeah.
So that'll be interesting. And then Gearbox is going to be. They said that they're working on having it up to full speed AAA production by the end of 2016. So we'll see what comes out of that, because they're delving into other areas, and they're like, we're putting Borderlands aside. I think that'll come back eventually.
It will.
But
I'm glad that they did. People are jaded on Borderlands. And as much as I like the franchise, I really didn't like the pre-sequel. Yeah,
pre-sequel just, like, it didn't offer anything new. And so, yeah, I don't know percentage-wise how far I got, but I got to a certain point and I was like, this is not anything new. This is not anything that I haven't seen before.
Yeah. 1 and 2 hooked me. This one, that one didn't. But, I'm hoping it'll be good. I'm hoping that will allow them to have an in-house. It's I keep going back to Bethesda, but it's basically what Bethesda did, and actually even better example would be Blizzard. So when Blizzard when they came out with, they were coming out with different games, and they got to be too big for the games that were coming out. So they started outsourcing specific things. Like, so the expansion of the first Diablo was outsourced to Sierra.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it didn't do that well. I still liked it, but the expansions for the original StarCraft were outsourced to a different company, and then they basically bought out that company. So that
done. Come on, in, guys.
Us. So if you guys don't know the history about this, so Gearbox did Aliens: Colonial Marines. It was not well received is how I will explain that. Yep. So that, as well as the Borderlands pre-sequel, were outsourced to another company to do the bulk of the heavy lifting. And I think that what I'm hoping is that what Gearbox is going to do with this is they'll say, all right, we're going to have an office in Montreal, and if we need outs, we basically will use them to assist with that kind of effort in a scenario that they have more oversight on, and they have more they basically have more push in, rather than just than having a third party company. That's what I'm hoping will happen, because Gearbox is a fantastic company, and I think that this will be a really good, if that's what the business idea if that's what the business plan is, I think this will be a really great strategy for them. Yeah.
And so we'll see whatever it is that they're working on in a couple of years. Yeah. So this will be the last thing that you hear us reporting about Gearbox and Bethesda Montreal. But it's an interesting thing, and I like that they're. I feel like when you have people from specific areas, you get different things.
Yeah.
Like the Canada stuff is going to be more of an international feel than something you're pulling out of San Francisco or Silicon Valley or whatever. And so I'm looking forward to that, because Gearbox being based in America, there's a lot of the machismo stuff. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens when they have a bunch of French Canadians working on it.
I think it'll be really
so
good.
I think that'll be cool.
Only good can come out of French Canadians. Wait, what?
I don't know about that. Speaking of only good can come of.
Yes.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah.
PS2, PS4 stuff, because last week they started, and they've said that every week there's going to be PS2 games coming to PS4.
It's amazing,
which is awesome.
Yeah.
And you can tweet at Dave Thatch, THACH, with the hashtag PS2 PS4.
Yeah, I'll put that here.
Tell him what games you want, and I keep seeing his replies of awesome, keep them coming.
Yeah,
tell us what you're excited about. And I love this. This is something that is a fairly new development. But so go tell him that you want Burnout. That you want Burnout on the new consoles, because Three Fields Development is just now starting pre-pro on their next iteration of that.
And
I want to play those games.
And the way that it works is essentially it's an emulator on the PS4.
And then they're putting trophies, and like they're adding to it. So it'll take a bit.
It'll take a little bit, but not as long as the Xbox backwards compatibility to 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that has to be done by the developers, and there's a whole
there's a lot of mess going on
to jump
there.
through on that. So I'm really excited about that. It's great to see someone in that position who's saying, bring on these suggestions, because to say, hey, we don't know what you want. You have to tell us what you want, and then we'll give you what you want. It's no longer it's backwards of what we used to think of marketing back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and all that, where the
We'll tell
marketers
you
were
what
like,
you want.
we'll tell you what you want.
Yeah.
You want new Coke.
Yeah. How could you not?
It's new. How could you not like it?
Yeah. And I also love, and that's one of the things that I think Microsoft and Sony have both done in I would say in the last 5 years. Both of them have really stepped up their presence online, where they're like, hey, we're here, we're excited about things you're excited about, tell us what you're excited about. And like, that's really, really obvious business, but it's just something that a lot of times, because of the I think it's probably because they consider the internet to be a fickle place, which it is.
Oh yes.
But
yes.
If it's very easy when you have something like this, you have a hashtag, you have direct quotes from people saying, I want this. You can compile the data and be like, okay, this one is way up here, this one is way, okay, let's make this one.
Yeah.
And yes, that makes business sense.
And I like the way they're doing it versus the way that Xbox is doing it. Xbox has a website you can go to. Xbox has a website you can go to if you want an Xbox 360 game on the Xbox One. Then you vote for it. Which the problem is, I mean, that's great, but it's one avenue. You have to know the website. Here you're just tweeting to someone as opposed to going to a website.
And there are also people who are retweeting, like they'll just see somebody, man, I wish I miss PS2 Game X. I wish that was coming to PS4. And I've seen people retweeting that at him.
And I hope that counts.
Yeah, I think it does.
Because see that, and that's what I mean. That's where it's a better aspect than just a website you have to go to and go, oh yeah, that game, I guess. And people who are your friends mentioning games you haven't heard of in a long time. It's really great. Let's see. So like Xbox One, if you go in the list of it, Fallout New Vegas only had like 14,000 people that wanted it on Xbox. And then Fallout 3 only had 30,000. Like, there's more than that many people that want this freaking game and will buy this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. Speaking of things that people want, Smooth and the Groove is awesome.
Yes.
And he's got a new album out of remixes. And
this one is not purely a cappella. It's old material that he has. It's a lot of his best stuff. Like my favorite track off this new album is probably Spark Mandrill remix.
Yeah,
because that's just a fun thing. But yeah, he's thrown up a new album, and so you can go grab that. And Spotify, those of you with Spotify, he has it there, and you can find it on iTunes and stuff. And we just like that guy. So he's cool.
Will this be his like 7th album then?
I think so.
He's come out with so many.
Yeah.
That man needs more support. So go to his videos, go to Spotify.
Go to his Patreon.
Yeah. I forgot he had a Patreon, so go to that.
Very much so.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, that's something that I thought that had an audience. Something I didn't think had an audience at first is Destiny Racing.
Yeah, with the sparrows.
Yeah. So I didn't think that
So you're
would
racing
be a
little
thing.
birds, right?
Yes, little birds, and you go, and you hope they go where they need to go.
I would think homing pigeons would work better.
It would work a lot better, yeah. But
maybe sparrows are faster.
At first I thought, okay, is this something people really want? And then I realized, one, it's racing, like driving one of the sparrows is really cool. It's a speeder bike.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let's not mince words here. This is a speeder bike from Star Wars. The controls on it are pretty good. So to take that you already have, and then take the mentality of the way that mentality of Destiny players, as well as the mentality of the developer, and say, let's create racing out of this. Doesn't surprise me now. At first I thought that's kind of weird, and then I thought, that actually makes perfect sense, because people will waste so much time on this. So
speaking of racing, Future Racing Neo is now out on Wii U. And I don't know if you've seen any of the gameplay for that. It's FZero. It's not as colorful, but it's FZero. Apparently, their original title was going to be F Racing Neo, and Nintendo's like,
That's
which I don't understand why they didn't just give them the license, because they've started to outsource stuff.
Yeah,
like Nintendo, like a couple of the Zelda games were not made by Nintendo.
Yeah.
If you're willing to
the portable one, right? Like the Triforce series? Yeah.
And if you're willing to let somebody else work on Zelda, is the canon of FZero really that important to you, Nintendo? Just let them make FZero.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. Like it's like Mario Kart is a really pretty game.
Yeah.
But it's not as fast as FZero is, and as Future Racing Neo is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I highly recommend you go check that out. And if FZero is something that has been missing from your life, because it has, unless you have older consoles, there's not a way to do it. Because the last official FZero game was GX on GameCube.
Yeah.
They're now essentially skipping 2 generations with that. And I love FZero. FZero is so much fun, and it has one of my greatest video game something happening in real life. I'm gonna go ahead and tell this, and hopefully Chris is listening. Okay, so we were playing F-Zero 64, and so we had the 4 screens up and running, and like I think somebody bumped Chris, my cousin, off the track. He goes, "Dang it!" Slams his hand down, and we had chips and dip on the floor. And he just happened to hit the spoon that went and shoots over into the corner. So we picked that up, laughed at him, went back. So the next morning, my mom comes to us and she's like, "So what happened in the living room?" We're like, "What are you talking about?" And there was a line of dip starting at the ceiling, going all the way down to where the spoon had actually hit, because it just apparently it was full of the
liquid, and that's great.
It was so funny, and so that's on the internet now. You cannot get away from that.
Yeah,
but I mean, like just stories like that, and it could be a very frustrating game, but I miss F-Zero.
Yeah.
I like F-Zero a lot. Like, I don't really get into like the sim racing stuff. I like the more arcade where I crash and it's okay.
Yeah.
And so like Burnout and F-Zero and like the super fast, super chaotic, you almost feel like you're out of control.
Yeah.
That's my favorite kind of racing.
For me, racing is, and I guess we could do a whole game on this, but like my aspect in racing, like I like kind of in the middle. I like to be able to customize whatever I'm driving to, it's like, oh, if you put this on, it'll have a little bit better handling.
Okay.
If you put this on, it'll be a little faster. So you have a balance. You don't have a complete, like, pay-to-win kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or it's not like
you
Forza.
you get to customize it to your particulars.
Yeah, which Mario Kart does in a way of saying, oh, if you want to pick this kart for this person, okay. But at the same time, I can't say, well, I want a car that's really good at this. You get the car that looks a certain way that has the certain stats.
Yeah.
On the other end, that's why one thing I do like about Mario Kart is that it does give you that option. It's not like I tried the Forza kind of thing, and I liked how much you can customize on it, but at the same time, it's like you have to know what you're doing. And you
have to be very meticulous and borderline perfect to win.
And then you also have to repair. I don't want to repair.
No.
I don't want to repair.
I just want to.
I want to.
Yeah.
This is my cart. I paid. I paid in-game money or whatever it is. Where it's like I won all these races. Now I'm gonna do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Back to news. Another news for Tekken 7 is coming to Tekken 7. Was this a thing that like people thought wasn't going to happen? Well, because I thought. I mean, it's kind of obvious to me, but maybe it's just.
I was surprised.
You were surprised? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm excited about this because Akuma he's just so ridiculously OP, and I honestly think he fits better into Tekken. Because like they've had Ogre and True Ogre and that mysterious unknown lady that showed up one time and then was never heard from again. So like Akuma is just so ridiculously powerful, and like he's got his rage thing and rocks fly up and like that fits Tekken.
It does.
And Street Fighter kind of sort of tries to hold on to this is happening.
Yeah.
And that one guy could throw fire. Don't worry about it. It's real, but not. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a weird balance. So I think he fits. I think story wise that he fits better into Tekken 7, and I'm excited about that game.
I'm hoping that 7 will also. I guess they probably won't do it. One thing that I liked that they did in the recent Mortal Kombat game, was that in playing through it, you got a bunch of classic characters, and they kind of filled you in if you hadn't, like let's say you haven't played since Mortal Kombat 2. Like there was enough context in what was going on that you knew why things was like, oh, okay, that's why that guy's important. Okay, that's why this is going to happen.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that Tekken 7 does that, or maybe they'll do it afterwards. But because there's a lot of like story stuff I didn't know on Tekken.
Yeah,
so,
well,
Mortal Kombat doesn't even have very much story, but Tekken has more.
Yeah,
so.
And I feel like anytime if you're trying to do a fighting game with story, there's only so much you can do there, and by the time you get to the fourth one, the story is going to be dumb. Yes. You have to embrace that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And so whenever that comes out, I'll be picking that up and stuff.
Next year-ish, right?
I don't know.
System Shock 3 apparently is coming out.
Yes.
Did not expect this.
No.
Is it coming to console? It's coming to console too, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Fantastic.
And it was just kind of a reveal. It was like, hey, it exists and it's coming, and it's coming to places and things where you play games.
Yeah.
I never played System Shock 2, but it's one of the revered titles. It's legendary.
I didn't play it. I watched people play it, and made me very excited. So that was one of those games like. I put it in the same category as Shenmue, which I didnn't play. Like, I maybe played just a little tiny bit, but I watched people play more than I actually played it. And it was still enjoyable. And I was like, yeah, one day I'm going to play that. One day I'm going to own a Dreamcast. And it didn't happen. So, yeah, I'm going to play this just for that reason. I think we live in an age now where we're getting things that we want, and developers are listening to what we want. We're getting things like System Shock 3, and even if it's not FZero, it's basically FZero.
It's FZero.
We're getting things that we want, and I think it's a wonderful world that we live in right now, and I want to support developers that know that understand that.
Yeah.
As opposed to ones that just say, "Oh, I'll tell you what we're going to give you. This is what we're going to give you. You're going to like it."
Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of the news for this week. A little bit light on the news, but
and that's kind of the thing that, like, once you get into December, and PSX is like kind of an anomaly because, and then the whole Game Awards has become a place, and I think Jeff Keighley is in a big way responsible for that because I feel like he's one of the most passionate people, and like he gets it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like he pushes for, hey, I'm making this thing. I want it to be exciting.
Yeah.
I want to be excited with you, speaking to developers. I want to be excited with you about your things. Tell me about them. Reveal them here. The people that are watching this, they care.
Yeah.
And so, but those two things that's pretty much where the news is going to come from. And so we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, we'll keep reporting the news that does come out and our opinions on whatever that news is.
We will have opinions.
I'm sure we'll still be able to fill out a podcast.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Have a good week. We'll see you later.
Now that we're alone, let me tell you some stuff. Patrick, he's a cool guy. I missed him this week. Like, okay. You have no idea how much we text and stuff. So for him to be, like, uncontactable for hours and hours at a time was annoying. I don't like it. Don't care for it.